Sahana vavatu Sahana bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We welcome everyone to the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. We are doing now the study circle on Gita Vahini. We are on chapter 14, and hard copy you have it is page 125, and soft copy they say it is 62. Last week also it was 62. It's the same page, Karthik, so it is cut. So here the page changed. It is 125, the hard copy. So here, as we said, we are going to start on page 125, chapter 14. So for the sake of continuity and for recollection, some concepts, these things should be ingrained in the things, like you put it in your engrave in a steel plate or a stone. So we should have clear goal of life. What is the goal of life? Swami said, to attain the goal of life is only one. That is, you call anything, realize God, or realize that you are divine love, or realize you are Atma, or you are Brahman, or Nirvana. People use different words, so we should not get confused. All refers to the same eternal truth. So you should try to realize that is the goal. We should have clear. What is the goal? Not getting a PhD or Nobel Prize or Grand Slam or being a celebrity or so many homes, so many cars, name, fame. These are not important. You can get them. There is nothing wrong in that. But the goal you should have clear. Like in join a medical school, what is the goal? Is to get an MD degree and practice. In between, you'll do cultural activities, you'll do drama, you'll go games, you'll have social parties. Those are all a side business. That is secondary. But main thing is get out and get your MD degree and get. Similarly, in life, the purpose is you may get all these other things, family, these achievements, studies, because that is why Swami said there are like two wings, secular and sacred. So you may get all that, but have clarity that the goal is self-realization, God-realization. There's all the great masters said the same thing. Vivekananda, Swami, Shirdi Baba, Rama, Krishna, everybody. So goal should be very clear. And then second thing is to live in eternal bliss. So, because we all have pleasures. When you eat good food, you are happy. When you listen to good music, we are happy. When you are with friends or family, we are happy. These are all called pleasure. Pleasure is interval between the two pains. Why it is pleasure? Where Swami says, samtosham, dosham. So these all have problem because only temporary. Because nothing of them, you say, food you eat, after that your satiety is gone. The same food you won't want to eat. You're disgusted. Same thing, friends and family, after they leave, either you feel sad, sometimes you may feel happy depending upon who they are. So everything is temporary, all these things. Anything you get, you say, so anything temporary cannot give you eternal bliss. That is, make sure. So the purpose of life is to have that eternal bliss. And cessation of grief, completely no more sorrow. So we all have little sorrows here, there, what we want, we don't have likes and dislikes. But this state, when you reach, they say, Lord Krishna says, Yam labdhva cha aparam labham, having attained which, you don't want anything else. Saran said, I don't need this. Why don't you stay only in Arunachala? Why don't you go to here? I don't need to go anywhere. I'm in so much bliss here. So this bliss, we talked about before. I want to see anybody remembers. Everything, this thing you need to go on recollecting. We talk about bliss. So in Taittiriya Upanishad, we discussed here in Brahmananda Mimamsa. That is, what is Brahmanandam? So the Guru tells the Shishya, first I will start one place and you guys fill up. First thing is one function unit called Manushyananda. What is Manushyananda? That person who is a young man, young person, woman or man, and he is very handsome, and he is very physically very strong, and he is intellectually very, very capable, highly intelligent, and more than that, he has good character, and he has all the money in the world, he has all the power in the world. That is one unit. So anything else you want, anything have we missed? He has got young, youthful body, strong body, very intelligent, because there are all these may not have character. He has good character, and you may not have money. He has all the money, all the power, name, and fame. So that is one unit. That itself, people think that's all most of the people want to have. So next stage is 100 times that is Manushya Gandharvananda. This is what there is. You go to Taittiriya Upanishad, it is said. Then 100 times that is Deva Gandharvananda. 100 times that is Pitru Ananda. 100 times that is Ajana Jana Ananda. 100 times that is Karmaja Ananda. 100 times that is Devananda. 100 times that is Indrananda. And 100 times that is Bruhaspati Ananda. 100 times that is Prajapati Ananda. 100 times is Brahmananda. We call Brahmanandam. It's not just this. Manushyananda itself, we are happy if we get all those things. This is 10 to the power of 18. That is called quintillion. We heard of million, we heard of billion, right? 1,000 million, billion. And trillion, what is trillion? And then after trillion, quadrillion. So that is 10 to the power of 15. Then this is quintillion, is 10 to the power of 18. That means 18 zeros will be there. So much ananda, that means they cannot put in words. That much ananda is Brahmananda. So that means once you tasted this great yogis, they don't want to have that. And to get this Manushyananda, what I said, good education, physically strong, so we have to do exercises, yoga, this, and for this education, go to college, attend the tests, and then have a career. So much work you need to do even to get good education, earn money, and have name. So then this is 10 to the power of 18. So how much more hard work we have to do? So that is what we have to remember. The goal is this. So we need to attain that Brahmananda. You need to work hard. It is not that complicated. Swami said two things. One is external, another is internal. Internal is sadhana, that is self-inquiry, meditation, all these things, japa, prayers, all those the spiritual practices you need. And outside, you do the nishkama karma, selfless service to help the world, to help the community or society. So these two will take you towards that goal. So eventually, we realize that. So this is what we talked about. Because when you do that, then you will have jnana. Because Swami says jnana is the right royal road to attain this state of eternal bliss. So what is jnana? That also we had the definition last. Advaita darshanam jnanam, or abheda darshanam jnanam. That means to see only oneness. So when you see two, dual mind is half blind. So whenever we are all seeing duality, we are all half blind. So we need to make sure we see that oneness. That is what this Mundaka Upanishad also, the Guru says, Paravidya, Aparavidya. Aparavidya is where we get all this education. So where we go to colleges, universities, and all that. So, but you need to get this Paravidya, which gives you this self-realization. So that is what we talked last week. So now we will continue from Shanvanti Vishwe Amrutasya Putraha. That is on page 120. Please continue.
Sairam, for the Paravidya here, Swami also gave a few other synonyms which I really like. Samyak Gnana and also Samipa Gnana.
Yes.
The nearest Gnana, that's knowing the Atma, who you are. Now to continue, Sairam. Listen, children of immortality all over the world. That is the invitation. The heritage of immortality must be recognized and experienced. It must be won back. The bonds of name and form must be got rid of. They are but bonds made of dream stuff. They're changeful and temporary. They're not genuine, natural characteristics of the jiva. Real wisdom consists in recognizing that man is pure bliss, bliss that persists from the past into the present and the future. Escape from grief for a brief period of time and the attainment of joy for a short time. These are not signs of real liberation. If you seek this steady, genuine, pure state of bliss, you must be attached to me, said Krishna. Arjuna, whoever does spiritual practice after attaching himself to me with the view to liberate himself from old age, senility, will know all that is to be known of Brahman, Karma, and Atma. I am master of Adibhuta, the highest among the physically manifest, Adidaiva, the supreme among the gods, and Adiyagna, the presiding deity of sacrifice. And if I am thus worshipped, the worshipper will develop equanimity and full control of the varieties of mind. Besides, such a person will dwell on me without forgetting me, even in his last moments. For that reason, he will reach me too. This is to say, he will merge in me. Arjuna, everyone is anxious to avoid old age and death. It is human nature, so is to be anxious. But of what avail is mere anxiety? One's conduct and behavior should be in accordance with one's objective. If one has sincere yearning and if one places full trust and faithfully surrenders to the Lord, the fog of grief will be dispersed by the rays of His grace. If, on the other hand, one places his trust on the objects of this world, the consequent grief will never end, and nor can they be ended by any other than the Lord. Serve the master of Maya, the designer of all this dreamland rather than the dream itself. How can attachment to delusion yield anything but disappointment? How can joy be won by such pursuits? If joy is not won and grief avoided, how can liberation be achieved? Krishna asked. I think Krishna, here it's really stressed, which we just talked about. I think the foremost importance is sadhana, and put the full faith and trust in Lord. When you do sadhana, actually, I think, at least that I've experienced few people that I observed, if you do sadhana, a burden is not on us. That divine grace, as Krishna said here, even in the last moment, you'll remember his name and to attain. you really don't have to worry about, whether I would remember at the last moment before I leave or when I'm leaving. But I think to have that consistent, intense, unwavering devotion and sadhana, he said. And then I think we just talked about that objective is the important thing. And also I think what I like about is Bhagavan is also, Maya is part of the Bhagavan. He's the master to handle the Maya. And he's the designer of the whole land, this dreamland. Instead of holding on to him, why would we hold the dream and all the temporary stuff?
Good. Yeah, that's what Sri Ramakrishna used to say. Like God is a magician, and everything, the whole world, universe is magic. So don't be enamored by the magic. So go to the magician. You get hold of the magician. And Swami often used to materialize diamonds, necklaces. He gives as a gift as a connection to him and his sign of his love. But he says people focus on that than the person who created, the hand he created. So go to the source. So focus on the creator, not on the creation. So for that, we should have clear, when you have the goal is clear, we want eternal bliss, we want to attain God. So for that, we should give the highest priority to God in life. That is very, very, very important. So without prayer, that's why he says, be attached to me alone. So even God is the most jealous and possessive God. In the Bible it is described. So you cannot ride on two horses. I will have this life and that life. So you should have spiritualized, very important. Like Jesus Christ says in the Bible, you can send a camel through the eye of a needle. Can you do that? You can send a camel through the eye of a needle, but not a rich man through the gates of heaven. That means it doesn't mean rich people cannot reach. That means they are so attached to their wealth that they cannot, like King Janaka, he had a kingdom and rule in the kingdom, but he was Videha. He knows that it's not his. It is all God's property. So the feeling, but you are attached to your wealth, thinking about multiplication, what is happening, when my property, what is there, your mind is occupied, then you can never attain God realization. So it is very clear. Jesus said that, and Swami says, properties are not proper ties. My father used to say all that. Your properties are not proper ties. They're wrong ties. So in the properties is still the answer. They're not proper ties. So you should have. Because what you are attached to, if you are thinking of God all your life, when you are dying, you will think about it automatically. So he says, what you think in your last few minutes is important. It will decide your next life. So that is why we're going to discuss. If you go on saying Om, Om, he says you will be liberated in this life. Or you think about whatever chosen deity, Rama, Krishna, Jesus, Swami, anybody, you will be one. But you are thinking something else, you will be born as that. So Swami was telling a nice story. Somebody said, yeah, in the last few minutes we can think about it. So why should you go on wasting time? So Swami told a nice story. There was a wealthy business guy, because business people always think. So he had 4 children. One person Narayana, another is Hari, another is Rama, and another Krishna. So all the 4 names. So his children will be there when he's dying. So he'll call one of them, or all of them. So they were all there at the time of his death. So Narayana, Krishna, he was very happy to see all his children. Oh, very happy you're there. Oh, by the way, who is there at the shop? Who's taking care of the shop? Because he's a business guy. All of you are here. Who's taking? So he has to be born again to the business. So what is in your mind highest priority? That is why, if you want to have joy in life, Jesus first, J. O, others next, Y, yourself last. If you want to have Sai in your life, Swami first, A, all others next, that little I last. So we should give the highest priority to God. I see in WhatsApp, I get messages, some of my friends and relatives, in the icon you can see that thing. Some people have the icon, the grandchildren. One of my cousins, she has got the big mansion she has. put. I said, why did you put? Because my other friends put them. That means your attention is on that. I wish people put Swami, Rama, something. So your interest is, it shows that interest. So one person was like, they're so attached to their house. So he died. What had happened? So next life, he will be born as a cleaner in his own house, and the manager is scolding, "You are not cleaning properly." Or could be a dog protecting the house. So we are so much attached to the house, we have to come back to the house. So what you are attached to, you should be born. And the classical story is, anybody know? Jadabharata. He's not an ordinary man. He gave up the whole kingdom. He went in to contemplate your life. And what happened? Poor guy, he saw a deer. He was being given birth and small baby. He has compassion, so he took care of it. He took care of it so much, he took care of it like a mother takes care of the child. So when he was dying, he was worried about the deer. Who will take care of it? Who will take care? The next life, he was born as a deer. He's a great king. That is why his story of Jadabharata is a lesson. So then he learned as a deer, my God, last life I did this wrong. Next life he was born as Jadabharata. That means he was never interacting anybody, even though he was wise man. I don't want to be again attached to people. So getting attachment, so you have to be reborn. So the only attachment we should have is attachment to God. Then only we can reach the goal. Otherwise, whatever you aim at, that is what you will get. So I'm like arthati jijnasu, so you'll be getting that. So I will talk about just anybody else for a few more minutes. If not, we'll share a little few thoughts about Lord Rama. Any comments from anyone?
Sairam. So in last satsang, here two ways of getting. One is, I know we talked about nishkama karma. The other one about dhyanam and nididhyasa. They used interchangeably, but I think in different places there is a shravanam, which you listen, and mananam. I think here they combined. Mananam is the where that whatever you listened, if there are questions, you inquire to register into your intellect. And then the nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam is what you internalize, what you heard, your questions are answered, and then internalized.
Yeah, that's good. These are the three, all the scriptures say these are the three important process of a scriptural study. Shravanam, we all hear now. So you go back and next week you should contemplate what we talked about. That is why when we started in the beginning, we recapitulated. What did we do that time? So contemplation of what we do. Mananam is thinking about, is ruminating about it. Then, like Swami gave a beautiful example, a cow goes and grazes the grass quickly. After that, it goes to a quiet corner, brings the cud and chews it again and again. Similarly, what you heard to digest, you need to bring it back, thinking, okay, what does that mean? How does it? Then nididhyasana is, how did I practice? How did I put into practice? Like we talked about priority to God in life. Am I giving in this 1 week? I gave priority to God. Am I spending more time with that rather than spending time with that? So that is nididhyasana, putting into practice. So shravanam, and then you contemplate. When you contemplate, it gives to nididhyasana. That is but for that, if you are attached to something, you cannot do that. The more you are attached to God, you will be less attached to the world. That is why jnana, we're going on talking about it. Lord Krishna said, one of the qualities of jnani is asaktir anabhishwanga putra dara gruhadishu. 3 definitions. You should not be interested in your putra children, dhara wife or spouse, and gruha house. That means not that you take care of your house, you take care of your wife, spouse, and children, but don't be entangled, don't be attached. So that is Swami's greatest example of love without attachment. So these 3 the obstacles, spiritual progress, putra dara gruhadishu. So we should always say, am I really entangled, so much attached? So only attachment, good attachment is, as Lord Krishna just now said, attached to me. So other attachments, you have to play your role in life. So you as a father, mother, brother, sister, whatever it is, we play the role. But don't be entangled. House also, this is also given by him. So some people, that's all, they will take care one way. And eventually I realized that they go on rubbing this thing, every little speck they will be looking. Their focus is all morning to evening about their, you keep your house clean, but they're so obsessed with about the house. They're like a showcase and thinking like that. So it is, our heart should be that. A temple of our heart should be like that. So that is the, where your mind interest is, your mind goes there. So that is what the important message.
Hi, Ram, uncle.
Yes, yes, Arvind.
Uh, Again, I'm hearing my own echo, but I'll just share it briefly. So, inspired by what you said about Jada Bharatan, and I was thinking that whenever we have attachment, we get reverse evolution. We devolve from human beings to animals. That is considered as a negative or reverse evolution. But Swami gives the example of his classmates, Ramesh and Paresh. So they were, because they were attached to Swami so intensely, though, I mean, Swami says how he jumped into the well, committed suicide. So all those are negative things. Committing suicide is a very wrong thing. It may leads us to get things stuck. Swami says without actually booking another house, if you leave the house, what happens? You're on the streets. That is how suicide is. Before the next body is chosen, you do. So, despite all of those negative things, because of the positive that they were attached to Swami, though they were reborn as dogs, Swami took care of their progress and finally they achieved salvation. So, I think, like you emphasized, that attachment to God is so powerful. Even though we have other negatives and other problems, it helps to overcome all that and keeps us focused on our journey to God.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay, Daniel, what are you saying? Yeah, Sai, no, that is good. I was thinking of telling when I said, you are ahead of me, that Ramanami, Sai Gita, I was there the day she was buried and left the body. So, Swami, when his mother died, Ishwarama, there was May 6th, he was giving a summer course in Vrindavan. He sent her body, so please go and take care of her services. He didn't go. He told people. He sent other devotees to take care. But when the Sai Gita passed away, I was there personally, me, Haima. So he was there in the hot sun from morning to evening, afternoon. So taking care of all its things, putting the kumkum, haldi, big, because for its body you need a big graves, right? So huge. So you're putting, and they had to put it, the crane kind of thing, the body to lift it up, put in there is not easy. So he shows because of the love. So it is not what it is, because it is so much loved Swami. Swami took care of, gave more importance to that more than his own mother. And even same thing he did to a deer in the Bhishma Ekadashi. I was in Vrindavan. Swami himself said a deer which was in Vrindavan. Swami gave liberation. So he took the deer on his lap and gave the liberation. So even and the same thing happened with Rama. Whom did he give liberation like that? Jatayu. Even though his own father Dasharatha, when he left, he didn't do anything for his rights. He has to be there. But Jatayu, he personally performs right, because the Jatayu bird, he took part in the divine mission. So that is right. So it is, the main thing is the connection between God and the devotee. So devotee could be take anything.